didn't break egos with rage. He broke them with precision. With games so subtle, the victim never knew they were being dismantled until their power was gone, their image cracked, and their control slipping through their fingers. Because to break someone's ego, you don't need to destroy them. You just need to make them doubt themselves. Here's the first rule of Machiavellian ego destruction. Don't attack the ego. Inflate it first. When you confront a person with an oversized ego head-on, they defend, they harden, they double down. But when you feed their ego, when you nod, agree, admire, they let their guard down. They believe you've submitted. They relax into their illusion of superiority. That's when they become sloppy. That's when they start revealing cracks. Let them think they're the smartest person in the room. Let them speak. Let them brag. And while they're busy showing off, you're studying them. You're gathering intel. Because when someone feels admired, they forget they're in a game. They stop strategizing. And that's your first victory, disarming them with flattery they never realized was bait. Second, mirror their ego back at them, but slightly exaggerated. If they're proud of their intelligence, praise it, but add absurdity. For instance, say, "You're honestly the sharpest mind I've seen, probably too smart for anyone in this entire city to understand." If they love their looks, say something like, "You look like you could walk into a movie set and replace the lead. Honestly, it's shocking you're not already famous." You're not flattering, you're mocking through over-identification. The exaggeration subtly exposes their vanity. Others around them begin to notice the absurdity, and the person starts sensing that your admiration might not be genuine, which makes them paranoid. Now they're second-guessing whether they're being praised or played. That self-doubt is your second cut. Third, start asking subtle, undermining questions. Not attacks, just questions. "Oh, that's an interesting idea. Where did you hear that from? Do you think that strategy would still work today, though?" "Huh, that's bold. Most people wouldn't dare say that. I respect it." You're not disagreeing. You're probing. You're planting seeds of uncertainty. If done in front of others, it's even more effective. The person begins to feel like they're being evaluated, not admired. They start justifying themselves, explaining, over-defending. That's your cue. The ego is cracking. Because a truly confident person never explains. Only an insecure one feels the need to prove. Fourth, go silent when they expect praise. This is surgical. When they say something they're clearly proud of, don't respond. Look at them. Blink once, nod subtly, and shift the subject. Or even better, respond with neutral indifference, with a simple, interesting, or by simply moving on. This non-reaction is devastating to an ego addict. It's like denying a drug to an addict mid-withdrawal. They expected admiration, applause, agreement. Instead, they got nothing. And the silence echoes louder than any insult. It makes them question their value, their brilliance. And that uncertainty is psychological poison for anyone addicted to validation. Fifth, outshine them without competing. Machiavelli never believed in head-to-head combat. That draws too much attention and triggers defense mechanisms. Instead, he would quietly outperform. If someone brags, outshine them without competing. Machiavelli never believed in head-to-head combat. That draws too much attention and triggers defense mechanisms. Instead, he would quietly outperform. If someone brags about money, mention a story where you handled 10 times that amount, casually. If they boast about a skill, reference an achievement that eclipses theirs. Not with arrogance, but with detachment. You're not trying to one-up them. You're just living in a world where their accomplishment is small talk. This forces them to recontextualize their ego. What they thought was impressive now feels basic. And when your excellence is delivered without effort, it wounds far deeper than a direct challenge. Sixth, turn their insecurities into the conversation's center, subtly. Ego-driven people are often hiding massive insecurity underneath the surface. If you can locate it, you can break them without ever raising your voice. For example, if they constantly brag about money, ask softly, "You ever worry about what you'd do if all this disappeared?" If they always talk about how many people admire them, ask, "Do you ever wonder if they're just saying that to avoid confrontation?" You're not attacking. You're just wondering, casually. But these kinds of questions haunt the ego because they attack from within. They force the person to confront the possibility that everything they've built is a mask, and worse, that you see through it. And finally, let them destroy themselves while you stay still. The person with the biggest ego will always overreach. They'll talk too much, reveal too much, challenge the wrong person. If you've played your cards right by inflating, observing, and subtly undermining, all you have to do is wait. They will eventually say something foolish, or offend the wrong person, or push a conversation too far. When they do, stay calm. Watch. Let them unravel. If others are watching, your silence becomes power. People will remember the one who kept their composure, not the one who collapsed trying to protect a fantasy. You don't break someone's ego with force. You break it by making them trip over their own illusion. And when the dust settles, they won't hate you. They'll fear you. Because you smiled, you listened, you never raised your voice, and somehow you broke them anyway. Once you've planted the seeds of doubt, once their voice starts trembling where it once boomed, once their eyes flicker mid-sentence because they're no longer sure you believe them, you've entered the kill zone. This is where most people get greedy or loud. Machiavelli would do neither. He'd get colder, quieter, sharper, because now it's not about striking harder. It's about letting their own ego do the damage for you. The next tactic in breaking someone's ego is pure psychological warfare, to praise them for traits they secretly hate about themselves. This isn't flattery, this is emotional sabotage wrapped in compliments. If you know someone is insecure about their intelligence, say, "What I like about you is you don't overthink things, you keep it simple." If they hate being seen as soft, say, "You've got such a kind, gentle energy. It's rare in men like you." If they overcompensate with aggression, say, "You've got this calm, peaceful vibe. It's almost meditative." You're praising what they're trying to bury, and they can't reject it without revealing insecurity. So they smile, but inside, something twists. Because now you're defining them, not them. And if you define someone publicly in a way that contradicts their internal narrative, you don't just bruise their ego. You steal ownership of it. Then, once they begin to doubt how others see them, unleash the next move. Use the room against them without ever saying a word. When they speak, look at them, then glance at others with a neutral or slightly raised eyebrow. Not mockingly, just curiously. That one glance makes others look too. And now they're watching for something to be wrong. You've turned the person's spotlight into a pressure chamber. The ego, which craved attention, now wants to escape it. Better still, when they say something wrong, don't correct them. Just pause, smile politely, and shift the conversation. That silent shift says that wasn't even worth a rebuttal. It drains their confidence faster than humiliation ever could. Because it wasn't drama, it was dismissal. This is Machiavellian ice, to make them feel invisible when they expect to be feared. You don't attack a big ego directly, you deny it relevance. Nothing kills pride faster than being treated like background noise. They may raise their voice, try to dominate again, interrupt, and you respond with calm, surgical neutrality, saying, noted, or anyway, then move the conversation somewhere they don't exist. The more they try to reclaim attention, the more they appear insecure, and everyone else starts to feel it too. You never insulted them, you just stopped feeding them, and that is death to ego. Next comes the quiet blade, to laugh once, but not with them. This is surgical and devastating when timed right. When they say something meant to impress or intimidate,